It's long. Um, Sorry for wasting you guys' time. I'm kind of playing with this thing here. Um, but while my thoughts are on the Moors, conscious and unconscious, uh, I'd like to say a few things about that. Um, in the Moorish Divine and National Movement, well, we are assigned a task, and that's to uplift fallen humanity. And by uplifting fallen humanity, one of the things we do is we educate those people, especially the copper tone people of the Americas, understanding that, the only reason why the prophet came to the unconscious Asiatic, commonly known as the Negro or African American, was because we needed him the most. The attack was on us because we're home. So, through shock and awe, we were made to forget that we were home. As a matter of fact, in 2021, we're still unsettled with the fact that we are home, that we have no ties to Africa. For the most part, the majority of us. And even if we did have ties, those ties go back 10, 20,000 years. You know, the 1500s isn't the first time that Africans, I'm talking about from East Africa, that were on these shores. They've been coming back and forth to Turtle Island for centuries, millennia. But see, they can't tell you that because then that would disqualify them from the equation. See, it's very important to know that this information is coming out. The age of Aquarius is more powerful than any conspiracy that they could come up with because now the youth are starting to know. And one thing I love about the youth is when you tell them something, they got to check it out. They're not listening to Pastor Pork Chop and Reverend Chitterlings and being manipulated by somebody who's telling them something. You got to prove it to them. And as these things are being proved and they know for fact, now they're developing a different mindset, a mindset that tells them that, hey, look, you've deceived me. You've lied to me. You lied to my parents, my grandparents, my great grandparents. But you won't lie to me. I'm not playing it. I'm not falling for it. So this is what Prophet Noble Drew Ali prophesied. Because see, even the people who were around him didn't have a clue of what he was doing. Um, and he told them, he says, it will be 50, if not 100 years before you even begin to understand what I brought you. He said, this is for the new Moor, the born and yet unborn that comes into this movement with their eyes wide open, seeing and knowing, exercising all five of their senses. And it'll be the new Moor that comes into this movement and fulfill my law. Well, what does he say? What is he saying when he says that? Not necessarily age wise, but in let's say 2020, you know, um, people who are becoming aware of their identity as Moors, they're not just taking it for granted that you're Moor. They're investigating. They're doing DNA tests. They're doing history investigation, historical investigation. You know, so that when they declare themselves a Moor, they know that for fact. You know, it is tangible to them, and that's the proper way to do things. You know, the new Moor has tools at his advantage that helps him verify the things that are being said to him, i.e., the internet. You can go on the internet and find out anything about just about anybody. So this is what the prophet meant. And when he said that he was going to put the old Moor in the back seat, nothing wrong with retirement. Just sit in the back seat and enjoy the fruits of your labor if you have been laboring. Because the fact of the matter is that there's a whole bunch of Moors who will cop out by saying, "Oh, we were just told to keep the doors open." Well, no, you were supposed to uplift fallen humanity. You were supposed to teach the people, and if you didn't know, be humble enough to sit down somewhere and find somebody who do know about religious law. See, we are still at a place. I'm glad we're not talking about it as much anymore. But we were hell bent on Black's Law's Dictionary and the U.S. Constitution. I'm glad that we are putting it out that these documents don't mean anything to us as Moorish Americans because the prophet was wise enough and intelligent enough to give us our own law and government. There's a lot of Moors that can't sit well with that. They really can't fathom the fact that they have the power to create laws and enforce laws for Moorish Americans. There's another problem that dwells within that is you have Moors who want to dictate to other Moors. That's not a constitutional republic, you know. So, and they're not giving the people the opportunity to pick their leadership, and that's also a crime. When you first start something out new, you must start it out with appointments, and the people who you appoint to the positions, you try to make them the most qualified people for that position so that they have the capability to set the standard for that position so that the people who come behind them have a guideline of how to do the job. In the military, they call that a SOP, standard operating procedure. And you have some Moorish Americans who have done these things. The administrative functions of the adept chambers, the Sheik's book, you know, and that's a very valuable document because what it does is it gives you the job description of the officers in the grand body. A lot of governors and grand governors and supreme grand poobahs don't have a clue of what the responsibility of a sheik, less more a grand sheik is. But somebody put the guidelines down. So you have an idea of what your responsibility in that governmental job. We have a hard problem understanding that what we have is a government. And we're the only government officials that the people don't see fit to donate or pay their dues or pay their per capita tax so that the officials have a stipend. So the only thing the officials do is take on the affairs of men for your behalf. You have the naysayers that will say, "Oh man, ain't nobody gonna pay your bills, man. Ain't nobody gonna do this." That goes along to that line of, "I'm not gonna make that nigga rich." So you have the naysayers; these are actual agents watching pockets instead of watching progress. If your grand sheik says, "Well, look, I need such as dues," and you've been paying that dues for a year, right? You're paying the dues for a year, and nothing happens. You're still meeting in a hall somewhere. You know, um, there's not even any plans to get a place, a temple location. Um, and if you do have a temple location and you paying these dues, and you still meeting on a concrete floor, not even paint on the thing. You still got to bring your own chairs. You know, well, now you start questioning, well, where's that money going? But you don't make one or two doggone dues payment and go, okay, look, I want to see the doggone financial records. You haven't invested. But when you see, you're in the right place when you see that, look, okay, we got a place. Okay, wow, all right. They done put carpet on the floor. All right, we got 10 more new chairs. Oh wow, that's good. They build a for lack of a better term, a pulpit. a podium, for the sheiks and the chairman and everybody to speak on. Oh wow, yeah, they put curtains up in the place. They done painted the walls. Well, you have no reason whatsoever to question where your dues is going. And unless you're an official, stop raising Cain, man. Because you don't go to the Job and ask the doggone lead man or the boss of the job, man, hey, look, man, I know you making money on you. I know you getting paid for us working, man. Let me see the financial records. I want to see if you paying us right. You paying us enough money compared to what you make. You don't do that to your employer. You know what I'm saying? We have ministries, and you have naysayers that talk against the ministries, but those ministries are jobs. As a Moorish American, wouldn't you want to work for Moorish Americans, by Moorish Americans, where you're not begging nobody for no job, you're not filling out no application, hoping somebody calls you back? You know, come on, y'all. Are we that used to being slaves? We really need to get that together for real. So I just wanted to talk a little bit. I'm getting used to this, YouTube streaming thing, and I'll be more organized as we progress and we go on. Um, so for now, you know, um, I'll say peace and blessings. Thank you.